Hey everyone, Nick Shaheen here revisiting Workhorse. The last time I did a video on this one, I believe during the fateful day on this day right here. So anyway, it was still February. The debacle was insane, 50% or whatever in one day, based on one order loss. Okay, it was a big order, but it was one order. You can't build a company on one order, and you can't destroy it because of one order. So if this company had any merit, it should continue. It's just a setback. So far, the price action is not saying that. Why did I revisit it today? First of all, I did a Highline video update earlier, and you can watch the series of Highline videos I did. How I got so much hate when I did the people the best favor at 18. I said I'm long. It just broke 18 convincingly. I'm out. I'm not catching it. If I was long, I would get out, and they kept harassing me in the notes and calling me all kinds of names because I suggested it's going to 12 and lower, and here it is lower than 12 convincingly, and every pop they tried to buy got them stuck wrong. My point is, I was trying to help a friend. I did help a friend. He listened to me, thank God. The day it popped to 22, he got out. So here, my message when I did my last video was, this debacle was not the time to panic if I didn't get out yet. And that was the right thing because it did pop. So somebody that kept their head on straight, they could have exited the next day or two in a much better situation. I also had the same message in my prior video, if you can go back and watch it, is the second message is it's not the time to add either because we don't know. I mean, 50% drops are not normal, and they are rarely a one-day event. And case in point, it's been a month and change, and they haven't been able to dig out. In fact, they're at the lower end of it and hanging on by a thread. Why do I say that? I don't know the actual inner workings of the company. And if you may know it inside and out, and you know exactly what timeline they have and whatever milestones they have coming up next. This comment here is not based on that. I'm making the assumption that this is a broken stock. It's fact. It's not my opinion. It's a broken stock, correct? And one order broke it, which is insane. The government backed out of its promise to propagate EVs. The new contract has a clause for maybe EVs, which in my experience, usually when they say maybe, it's like a parent saying to their kid, I'll think about it, which is a hard no, but I don't want to piss you off and have you cry about it now, therefore I will tell you maybe. So in this case, through no fault of its own, the news was bad, and unfortunately the investors completely gave up on it, and they haven't recovered that enthusiasm. So you may blame the whole market, but it's false because the whole market cannot stop making new highs. You may blame the sector, but that's also false because today Tesla was up 3 or 4% when the rest of them were not. So there are particular situations when the income statement is not there to support the stock, then it's harder to defend it. I'm not nitpicking on it. I'm just telling you fact. So this one at least has a P&L, but it's nothing that you can hang your hat on except for studying the company. So the stock is broken. What's the risk? Similar to what I did for HYLN. The machines will not like losing 11.8. I think if you lose 11.8 convincingly, so far it's been a convincing buy. This candle right there, it's a daily candle. It means, where are we? Here we go. It means they opened at the top of it. They tried to crash it to 1180. That was the worst part of that day. They closed close to the top, so they closed slightly red, relatively speaking, and then they had a rally. So this was a bottom they did not want. Nope, not here, up to here. So that was the base of a good size relief rally, 50, 60%, right? So somebody that sold here is smart and knows charts. Why? Because this was the prior failing point. This is how machines trade. And if you think, oh, you're not a machine, but you're up against machines. 80% of all trades, so they say, are done by machines. That's how they trade. They don't feel good about the company. They don't give a crap. So they look left. What happened last time we were here? Oh, it fell? Okay, therefore I'm out. That type of simplified thinking. Okay, so from here, somebody rode it all the way back down. People who bought it here are smart because they see absolute bounce just below. They take the chance. Hey, I'm long, and they could have scalped whatever this is, 20%. Not too shabby in 3 days. But they got out. They're up against two big fat candles here. Now they're retesting the lows from these people. Then if this fails tomorrow, what's today? Sorry about that. 412. So tomorrow, if they lose that and they go down and they lose this one and they close below this one, it's a whole new ball game, people. So if this happens, I'm not saying it will, it could, but if this happens and they don't recover it quickly, and by recover I mean get up and stay above it, then it becomes a roof. It becomes something the short sellers can target. The machines, the sellers, any program that's programmed to sell would look at prior, you've heard it before, prior support becomes forward resistance, or resistance becomes forward support, which means that it's been support, it falls below it, then becomes resistance. And worst, it's a line that could trigger a big drop. What's a big drop? I don't know. That's what I'm telling you. I wouldn't want to find out. If they lose 1180 convincingly, I would not want, the least I can do is not double down. Can I protect myself? Sure, there are option ways that I can protect myself, but at this point I wouldn't do it. At the time, I suggested the way I would go along the stock is by selling a $13 put for April. I think at the time it was paying $3. You can watch the video. It was $3 per contract. My break even would have been 13, 15, what did I say, 13? Anyway, the break even was 10 because it was at 13. My commitment was at 13, and I'm collecting 3 up front. So even if they gave me the shares and then it fell to $10, I would break even. No money out of pocket until they give me the shares. Then I have to buy the shares. But I can sell them in an instant. So that was the right trade because that is now only 80 cents. And having collected $3 to open, I can buy it back with 80 cents now. So this was the easy way. Well, this doesn't work now because it already fell. So now if I wanted to, quote, protect myself, I would have to spend money to buy puts for the shares I own or sell some covered calls against them. But these are so wild that make sure you would sell at a place where you're okay leaving your shares. Otherwise, it creates all kinds of problems, especially tax problems. So there's a gap here, little tiny gap. It's not a reason to short it, but it's definitely a reason to. This candle is my bug out. If I was long, I'd say GTFO after this one. Get the what out, because I don't want to find out where is the bottom. So ride is in the same predicament. It's already actually worse. And see, it's so weird. So look at the blue. It's hard to see. The numbers are so small here. It's hard to see. So I want to show you something here. Look at what they're fighting for. Where they are right now on the right. I don't want to make you dizzy and move my mouse. Where they are on the right of this, and where they were on the left. They're fighting for the level. They know the consequence of losing this level. They're going to go to 9 or 8. What did he just say on ride? I'm not forecasting that. I'm telling you what they're fighting for. If they lose this, then there's a trap door that opens. So this is the same caution I'm saying over there. I can't even see what's going on here. It's so small. They should have held this pop right there. Whatever happened on July 6th, that high, they're already below it. So there's a gap all the way down to here. Maybe to close it, it's so small I can't even see it. So it just shows you the level of muck that the bulls are now stuck in. It's definitely a broken stock. Is it a broken company? I don't know. You have to do your homework. I wouldn't double down on any of this stuff. This is like the definition of speculative. Not to take away from the efforts of the company. They could be doing some good work. I don't know. It's a shame that they didn't split the contract. At least, 1/10 to these guys, just so they wouldn't have the headline or something. But nope, they went all in with Oshkosh, I think, the other company, which really makes ice machines. So internal combustion engines, not EVs. So anyway, the point is, I have to take emotions out. The High Leon gang did not. I warned several times, and look, I was I was optimistic. I promise. I was long the stock until they lost 18, the green line. Then they repeated the process at 15. Then they repeated the process at 11.8, I think. I forgot what it was, the last warning I gave them, and here they are in muck. So anyway, Workhorse, careful. These are the lines on Workhorse. This should have held this little zone. Look, it was consolidated, served as the base, served at the base. They didn't even come back to it. They fell into it, and it didn't hold. Or at least it's not holding. You do not want to be below it. They cut through these bubbles way too fast. So look, resistance, 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 breakout. Support, they fell below it, they fought over it, breakout. They broke out, and then they just went through it. They didn't even think twice about it in one day. That was just a telltale sign right there. They should have stopped here. They tried to come back, and look where it fit. Oh my gosh. Okay, so you don't believe in technicals? All right, here we go. Check this out. This candle right here, look left and follow it and see how many times it's been relevant. All right, so I'm not going to move my mouse. Go from this plus, go left, and see how many times it touches a top or a bottom or a turning point. Right here, this one, breakout zone, this one, failing zone. So we're not making this stuff up. The machines are in control. I promise you. It's systemic. And if you don't, I did this for the HYLN video, so sorry if you've seen that one. So I'm sorry. Yeah. This proof of concept. All right. I'm going to use the SPY. What is the SPY? I'm going to show you how machines are in control. I'm trying to find a time frame. Okay, there we go. So on February, late February, we had a market correction out of the blue, right? Sentiment soured really bad. So somewhere here, this early in the process, I drew this. How did I draw this? I said, I have a feeling they're going to repeat the same process over again. So what I did is I went to the last correction we had, which was January, late January. I copied the action. I ghosted it. There's a ghost function in this machine. I clicked, click, 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 and it drew it, right? There it is. I did copy, I paste, and then I moved it over to here. And I said, this is my forecast. And look how the real price action unfolded from my forecast. Tick for tick. Not because I was a genius. I just found a pattern, and I copied it and pasted it. And this is where I placed it, right here. It was like very symmetrical. So you can't ignore the machines. If they indeed are in control of the 80% of the action, how can we ignore it? And the only thing they look at is they look left, and then they use math to see who's in control. First, they look at levels. Workhorse, they're saying, do not lose this, otherwise we're going to start selling heavily, because now they have a peg. And then they start saying, okay, so who's in control? Then they decide if the sellers are in control, clearly they are. They have lower highs. Then they start selling the pops to trap more buyers. So you have a pop like this, people get excited, they load back up, they trap them. It pops, people get excited, they load back up, they trap them. So that's how they do it. They win because they're faster and smarter than us, and they have way more means. So if we don't outsmart them by using some technical analysis, then we're just hoping for the best. All right, this is way too long. Sorry about that, but I think it's important information. So I wouldn't double up. I would do homework to find out what next, what there lies next as far as deliverables on their end, headlines or milestones, something tangible to tell me it's not a broken company, because the stock is definitely broken, and it could get a lot more broken if they lose this. If they don't lose that, they can still contain the damage and then just recover one headline at a time, one positive news at a time, one positive development at a time. This is fine. Step one, stop making bottom. They're doing it, but you cannot lose it, because then that just opens a whole new chapter of selling for the machines.